we're looking here at a wonderful set of mid-19th century atlases in spectacular full leather bindings. That gilt stamped cover is really beautiful. What we've got here is 1859 by Colby, Diamond Atlas. This is in fact complete, and what we'll do is take a quick stroll through this atlas to give an idea of what's within it. All edges are gilt. These are serigraphically produced maps, and in addition to the maps that are here are some views as well. There's a splendid view from Mount Washington there. There's a map of the state of New Hampshire and Vermont. There is Maine. There's a wonderful map of the United States, which actually has wagon trails across the country, and territorial configurations. Here we see Oregon, Utah, Nebraska, so on. Transitional arrangement of territories prior to statehood. And that was Yale, that one we just saw. And here, we'll start to flip through it so you can see New Jersey. These are all with original hand color. There is a New Jersey view. Okay. All right, Maryland and Virginia. There's, oh, that's Washington, D.C. right there. I'm sorry, that was Maryland, actually in Delaware. Okay, and there's Virginia there. Okay, and there we have Harper's Ferry, North Carolina State, South Carolina. There's Georgia. This is a very nice atlas. It's relatively scarce to be found like this, complete. And in bindings, look at that, it's a great map of Texas, and in bindings which are just really beautiful and splendidly preserved. It's actually probably pretty scarce to rare. There's an actual map of Michigan that has a more correct outline. We were just looking at a Carey map from 1805 where Michigan, that coastline was incorrect. Okay, it's typical for the era, and here is Wisconsin, and so, there's Arkansas, there's California, interesting. Okay, Minnesota, look at that, that's interesting. Then we've got, there's Nebraska and Kansas. This map here has a small chip and it's been trimmed and laid back in. As far as I can tell, this is the only map in this 2-volume atlas set that is in the least bit defective. There's a splendid map of Utah and New Mexico. Then we get into Mexico here. There's a nice little view of Mexico City. Looks to be a steel engraved view. Central America, Lake Managua, the West Indies, South America. Yeah, so then the regional maps is typical of South America, Bolivia, La Plata. And so this is the first volume here. Then we've got volume 2, Oriental, and again, just a spectacular cover, really. Yeah, it's beautiful example of this atlas. And so we see here the half title, title page. It's interesting because this one is 1857. So yeah, that's interesting how it's a matched pair, but they have different imprint dates, which is actually not that unusual for sets in this era and earlier. It can often be that there are different imprints. Look at that, that's nice. Yeah, these are very interesting decorative world maps here. Of the ancient world, that is. And so we then, yes, look at that. That's fascinating right there. Lower Brazil. Oh my goodness, right. Yeah, look at Cuba. That's great. That's a great map right there. Okay, and there's Columbus, idealized version, him aboard ship. We've got Europe, and then what we continue on here. What does that say? Oh yes, Byron Byron contemplating the ruins of Rome. We've got Italy. Yes, this is interesting right here. This fold-out Sardinia map in northern Italy on the border with France, printed on a different type of paper and tipped in. Very interesting there. And what else have we got? Oh yeah, Spain, England, and here's a view of, yes, Birmingham in England. And then we've got Scotland, we've got Ireland, Switzerland, Geneva on the lake there in Switzerland, Austria, Germany, there's Bremen, port city, Holland and Denmark, side by side, Scandinavian countries, Norway and Sweden, Russia and Europe. We got here Church of Ivan Velikov in Moscow. There's Turkey and Europe with Greece. There's all of Asia. We've got Turkey here, including Baghdad, Mesopotamia, and Al Jazeera. There's a map of Palestine. Hindustan here with Tibet. It's India, Benares. There's China. Amoy, trading port. Japan. There's Africa. Always have to look for the mountains of the moon, which in this case are located over here. This lake, of course, is too large, and in the center, surrounded by mountains there. It's interesting interior details. We see South Africa here. Then we've got Egypt here. And when we see, yes, very nice. This New South Wales in Australia here, like so. It's a very nice map. Actually, we see here this giant hook of Lake Torrens, which is erroneous and actually not correct. And then we see all of Australia and the Pacific Islands. And finally, what really distinguishes this as well and makes it utterly unique is this oblong folding plate at the rear depicting, it's a little bit tricky to get it open, but it can be done like so. Here we are. It's on fragile, different type. It's a bond paper, actually. And this here is genuinely spectacular. It's actually entirely complete. There's some minor splitting along fold lines due to age browning of the paper, but each native has got original hand color. They're all, there's Sandwich Islands right there. That'd be Hawaii. There's Bulgarian. Look at this. Hottentots, Negroes, Abyssinians, and Arabians with the pipe. Look at this. Look at this Kurdish man here. This is a really fantastic ethnographic plate. And so this 2-volume complete atlas is now currently available online from me, Brian DeMambro.